Okay, just want to make another short one for today. Just want to address another quick question that came across my radar. Question was, what is the difference between, let's say, True Master and any other system that may be out there, right? So in previous videos, it was said that True Master was based on a loose divination system called the Experiential. So being a system of divination, um, you normally have some physical, tangible component, right? Be it a chart, rune stones, tarot cards, etc. Something that is a medium for you to get a message, right? In True Master and Experiential, from which it comes, there's no physical component to it. So there are no cards, there are no charts, there are no rune stones, etc. and stuff like that. No numbers or anything like that. You simply observe the experience itself in all of its many sensory details that come with it. So those sensory details, all of which are patterns, you see, or they represent patterns or what have you, and they give you a snapshot or a fractal, which is repeating which is repeating in that form, and also has a larger overarching um, pattern in a person's life, just as the fractal is a micro representation of whatever problem or issue that the person may be having. The answers to the problem or issue that you may be having is it also resides in the cycles that you've already lived. So that just as well as there are fractals that represent the problem or an unfavorable outcome of whatever your situation is, there are also fractals that represent a more favorable outcome. Like I said, there is no chart. With this, you have to recall memories, feelings, sensations, etc., versus having some mathematical calculation or an actual precise date, let's say in the nature of, let's say, a progress chart or something of that nature. Um, Basically, if you have some issue, then at some point in your life, you had a fractal of the same issue, but you handled it in a more effective way and got a more favorable result, right? So just like the problems are baked in as far as the fractals are concerned, as far as the patterns of a person's life, the solutions are also baked in. How things make you feel is the general barometer. Um, and I know when I say how things make you feel, you know, there are delusional people out there in the world or what have you. So when I say how things make you feel, to kind of like put context on that, um, on the idea of honoring self is paramount. Is paramount. And when I say honoring self means keeping your word. Honoring self means treating people a certain type of way or whatever. All that cliche type stuff that you hear that would equate to having good character. So it's really less space for you to be delusional or what have you. Um, let's see here. The self honor thing is paramount. It impacts your relationships with yourself, how you view yourself. You see what I'm saying? The things that you will or will not tolerate in the sense of what you feel like is honorable or dishonorable to standards that you set for yourself, that type of thing. Um, let's see, as well as how you treat other people, because how you treat other people is a reflection of your relationship and how you feel about yourself. Okay, so you can't just be a butthole to other people or whatever and be living based off of this type of principle and everything like that. Okay, so this what I just talked about, honoring self and all that. I know that sounds kind of cliche or whatever case may be, but it's not from a perspective of a theoretical sense or in the sense of virtue signaling, um, but in actual observable ways that you see as you apply the adjustments found in exploring the fractals. So what you're actually doing, you're going back and you're auditing different situations in your life, seeing the ones that were favorable, the ones that were not favorable. The ones that were favorable are things that you want to duplicate. How did I do this? How did I accomplish this or whatever? What route did I take? What did I do at that particular moment that lent me to success. When this particular fractal happens, because it's a recurring thing in my life or whatever, when this happens, or when, how do I tell when this is about to happen? When it does happen, what do I do? What is the proper response? Instead of getting mad, instead of doing this or doing that, what am I supposed to do to induce a favorable outcome? That type of thing. Because from the experience of just seeing this over and over again, most of the problems that people have come from not honoring self. So like I said, that principle is a major thing in this thought process or what have you. Let's see here. Once you identify certain fractals, it becomes easier to see them over time. So knowing that fractals are happening in a 3D left brain world, but they simultaneously correspond to principles that may be foreign to the specific event. You see what I'm saying? Um, Observing the symbolic reality in close temporal proximity to the literal reality creates a condition that the creator of the experiential, Brother Naju, he often refers to as psychoactive. So basically, the literal world in the face of its symbolic representation, or the symbolic principles that govern the physical world, creates some unique third perspective or what have you. And he refers that as being psychoactive, because in that kind of idea, you're kind of walking in between worlds, as it were, the symbolic reality that may or may not have anything to do with the literal reality that's going on, or whatever case may be. You see what I'm saying? And you actually get to see that versus just viewing things from the left brain perspective. The symbolic reality doesn't exist, or viewing it from the subconscious perspective, the symbolic reality may be all that exists. You see what I mean? Okay, so this would imply, there are a lot of implications in this. This would imply that the development of external implements, such as tarot cards, rune stones, etc., um, was basically like developing crutches for the cripple. You see what I'm saying? It's humanity, or the human being, coming down from a place, whether you want to say a understanding of energy, or however it goes, where somebody can take a look at this. Like at some point, people may have been able to read reality like reading the computer code in the movie The Matrix. You see what I'm saying? The computer code starts falling, its zeros and ones and everything like that that everybody else sees. But this guy, he's like, okay, well, now I see blonde, brunette, that type of thing, or whatever case may be. So it implies that because it's even possible. So I'm not arrogant enough to think that myself and this other brother are delving into something that's being developed for the first time ever. Time is cyclical. All of this stuff operates as patterns. Somebody else thought of this same thing, God knows when, at some other point. So it leads me to believe at some point human beings had the ability, whether from a, if you believe it to be a technique, however it may go, or psychic powers, or whatever direction you want to go with that, it was the ability to eyeball reality and see the underlying reality beneath it. So that's what this implies. But long story short, that's the difference between a true master, the experiential, all that type of stuff, versus a regular system or anything else that's out there. Law of attraction, whatever you got, is different than this in the sense that it doesn't use any signs, symbols, implements outside of what's in your perception. It's a perspective more so than anything, but it's a perspective that would allow you to walk through your day-to-day life and see the literal world, as well as the background energies or principles and patterns at play that govern and create the circumstances that we deal with in the physical world. So that's all I got for that one. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you.